So man, Hebron Ben Bilal coming right back at you again, man. I just shot y'all a short little video, man, a little earlier about some stuff. Well, I forgot to put some things in there. But before I get into those things, man, y'all know what it is, Boomer Logic, man. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, man, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. Sign up for this stuff, man. Get our numbers up and just kind of have fun doing this thing, man. But a couple things I forgot. First, I wanted to tell y'all again about that moratorium on the rent that's getting ready to come to an end in July. It's getting ready to come effectively in July. It's coming to an end. So if you backed up on your rent, man, or you know what I'm saying, your mortgage or whatever it is, man, start to try to find ways to get that thing done. Talk to your landlord, man, because it's going to affect a lot more of us than it is them. You know what I'm saying? So, man, start trying to work this thing out and try to figure it out. But some of y'all out there not paying your rent because you're just taking advantage of the whole situation. Shame on you. You know, you got to be ashamed of yourself. But at the same time, man, for those of you, man, who are really facing dire straits and hard times, man, move in with a family member. Start, we need to start to get like that anyway. But just wanted to remind y'all about the moratorium, about that rent, man, in July. And if you haven't already heard, now you're hearing it here. Moratorium is up in July. But anyway, I digress on that point. I want to move into something that I had heard yesterday that Biden, y'all president, it came out and said, came out and talked about the whole Chicago thing. And I caught this on the news yesterday. I can't remember what's news. I think it was news out of Chicago. I'm not sure. World news. One of them. Anyway, it was a lot of news. But he came out and he offered help for Chicago and because of all the violence. He offered help, asked them if they needed him, to send them some assistance. And he's putting together a package to send down there, some type of package where some type of funding where they can go and I'm about to go somewhere with this, but where they can go and hire more officers because they need more officers and those officers need more things to help them combat all the stuff that's going on because just like in Oakland, they had so much stuff going on that they had to leave some stuff untended to because they were just spread so thin. And this is what's happening now. One reason is because of that whole defund the police movement. And I'm about to get on that in just a second. But with Trump, Biden saying what he said yesterday, I found it fascinating and I kept an ear to the door like I told my wife. I said, I'm listening out the door, but I don't hear anybody jumping up on these soapboxes right now screaming, no, defund the police. Why are you sending money down there? Defund them. We don't want them to have any more money. Black Lives Matter. Defund the police. First, let me explain something to you about your Black Lives Matter movement. They fleeced you and they ran. They left you high and dry, no matter what you want to say. They fleeced you and they took off, man. I don't care if you're embarrassed about it. The truth and the facts are the facts. They're no different than Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. I said this before. So my generation is just as guilty of being duped by these wolves in sheep clothing, coming in talking about, Black Lives Matter, rally, march, this, and as soon as their pockets get lined, they are out of here. Living in mansions and all that, up there with the white folks. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson do the same exact thing, did the same exact thing to our generation. Just like Black Lives Matter did to the millennial generation. But they're just too stubborn to admit it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm openly admitting what Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and a lot more of them did to us boomers. Black Lives Matter did the same thing to y'all. But anyway, I digress on that point and get to my point. The thing is, y'all never, and I spoke about this before, about the defunding of the police. You didn't want that from the beginning because without boundaries, when people don't have a fear, some type of authority over them, this is what you get. You get chaos and anarchy. And it goes right back to what I talked about black women not being able to raise black men. You can raise black males. You got black males out there doing this stuff right now. Those are not men. Just because they have nuts and penises between their legs and hair on their chest and on their face doesn't make them men. They're males. Men don't conduct themselves like that. Men don't behave like that. Men don't tear apart their communities. They don't do it. And here's the thing about, there's no accountability amongst women, especially black women, because y'all shift the blame in a heartbeat. But you are the reason for what we are seeing manifest right now, because you thought you had the ability to raise these young men into men, these young males into men, and you didn't. You did not. You just didn't. It's transparently clear right now. And now it's so bad in Chicago that he said, look, I'm about to send y'all some money down there, man, so y'all can get more police. And once again, I find it amazingly funny that not even a year ago, y'all was screaming, defund the police, burning stuff down, tearing everything up. But now, I don't hear none of y'all saying that now. Yeah, because this is what you need. You need someone to call on when you got this chaos and anarchy running wild. Y'all, it just the logic in what y'all do, and most of it is emotionally fueled. You didn't think this out. You just defund the police, defund the police. A bunch of rhetoric that didn't make sense. That's it. I mean, it speaks to the same thing, because one, you got a few bad cops, and I'm not sitting here being on the side of cops, but you got a few bad cops who are doing some bad things, and at the same time, you're saying just defund all the police. It doesn't make sense. Okay, then where does your authority? Where do those who are supposed to protect and serve you, where does that come into play? Because now you want this stuff to stop in Chicago, but you don't have anybody to do it, because you stood there talking about defund them. It doesn't make sense. Now you're seeing the reality coming to fruition of what you begged for. You begged for it, and now it's here. It's at your doorsteps now. My wife asked me last night, well, what can happen? What do we need to do, or what needs to be done to quell this? I said, there's no quelling it. Listen, I'm going to explain to you about young blacks, young black males. Once they come into the reality that they have no boundaries, it is limitless what they will do. It's limitless. It is limitless. You have just seen the tip of the iceberg. You have just seen the tip of the iceberg. Oh, listen, it's getting ready to get way worse. Whatever they can, look, it's so bad that now they've moved up in Chicago into this place called, I can't remember what it is, the Loop. And they're just terrorizing. On film, they're terrorizing. They don't care. They don't care about being on camera. They're terrorizing. They're coming up in these packs on these bikes, and they're just terrorizing, ripping people off their bikes. They're out of control. And this is what I told you about. All these knee-jerk reactions to certain things. This is the residual effects that you're seeing right now today. Once again, I don't hear anybody jumping up on their seats talking about, oh, no, don't send that money down there. We want them defunded. Look at Seattle now. Look at Seattle. Your autonomous zone that y'all wanted so badly. Look at that place, man. It's still burning. Them people still down there tearing that place up. For what? Just because they can. The police have literally walked off and said, man, we're gone. Because we can't even do our job, because as soon as which y'all deem rough somebody up, first thing y'all want to do is put us in jail, fire us, you know what I'm saying? This is what y'all do, so we can't appropriately do our job. And a lot of y'all gonna say, oh man, you're justifying police brutality. Hey man, listen, dig this. Sometimes it takes for a little brutality to get people back to where they need to be. Now, am I sitting here saying, go out and just gun people down? Nah, but the thing is, y'all need to get the hell out the way, female and white folks. You black women need to get the hell out the way, and you white folks need to get the hell out the way and let us men come in and handle business like we know how to handle business. I told you before, you turn to the Hebrews and say, hey man, can y'all clean this up for us? I guarantee you, give us 3 years. Get a Hebrews 3 years. I'm talking about them black Hebrew Israelites. Give them 3 years. Turn your back for 3 years. I bet you'll have some peace in there. You'll be like, oh my goodness, what did they do? You know what I'm saying? But this is not what y'all want. This is actually what the system wants. And now y'all pointing the fingers at everything else and everybody else, but who's responsible? And we're responsible. We're responsible. It starts with the woman and right back up to the man. And man, I'm not absolving y'all of your responsibility, because anytime a society or system fails, you have no one else to point at but yourself. Because first and foremost, you let these women get all the way out of pocket. These women are so out of control and out of pocket, and y'all just standing here, just standing idly by, and y'all just keep pushing them in the front. You know, the black woman power, yeah, and you just keep pushing them in the front. I'm gonna tell you, when I seen it start to go left, when y'all started having that Black Girls Rock thing, I was in prison. And I used to go tell my cellie, that's the worst thing they could have ever did. And it started to creep from there and creep from there and creep from there. Now you got black women standing in the front talking about how horrible black men are, as if you don't have enough enemies. That's because you allowed them to get into the front. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I hear people talk about Paul all the time in the Bible and how he hates women. I've seen it written by white, blacks, how he hates women because of how his take on women had to be quiet and submissive. They had to be good takers, carers of home, take care of the home well, do all these things. They couldn't speak in the congregations meeting. They could not take the lead role in church. All across the board, it was God, Yeshua, man, woman, children, all across the board. And Paul was adamant about this. And do you know why that system existed in Hebrew cultures? You looking at it right now. Because without governing, a woman is worse than a child. A black woman is worse than a child without governing. Look at them. Look at them. Just look at them and their offspring. Look at them. And then y'all want to sit here and act like, oh, well, see, you need to let them have what? Hell no, you shouldn't let them have what. I used to tell my sister all the time, when I used to talk to her when I was in prison, I said, man, black women's voices are getting too loud. Because now look at you. With no checks and balances, this was happening. And it lays right at your feet, man. Lays at your feet. You push them into this position. You push them into this position. Whether you like it or not, you got to keep your foot on their neck. I mean, whether just straight like that. Straight like that. They don't respect you any other way. If you're not telling them what to do, hey, check this out. No. All that back talk, get over there. This is what you need to be doing. This is how you have to govern things. Because look at it now. This is due to a lack of governing. This is due to the fact that y'all wanted to give women such, oh, no, they should be able to have voices. They should be able to speak. They should be able to shut the hell up and do exactly what we tell them. Because this is exactly the fruits of what happens due to male neglect. Hey, man, once again, the moratorium's coming. And I don't hear Black Lives Matter screaming about this money that Cat Daddy getting ready to send down there to get more police on the job. This is what y'all screamed for. This is what y'all hooped and hollered for. It's a direct result of the failure of men. Man, Hebron Ben Bilal, man, come back at you. Another video. Giving wisdom to them wise old boomers, man, because y'all know we know everything. And for you millennials, because you don't know how to think, I just told you and gave you an opinion. Y'all have a good day, man.